Hello, my name is Benny and I like hanging out in the garage. This week, we're getting a little punchy. So there's a magician here in Las Vegas. You may have heard of him. I've never met him, but I hear he's a great guy. He reached out to Joan and said, "Hey, your guy makes stuff. I need a thing." I said, "Well, somebody needs a thing. I'm ready to make stuff." Here's what he's got. He's got this, it's like a hole punch. This one's his. I didn't want to mess up his, so I got a different one. I got my own to mess up. I gotta be honest. I've had this for a couple of months. I don't remember exactly what it's supposed to do or not do. Or something like that. So here, let me explain. Punch of holes, I guess. This one just boom, boom, boom. It's a hole punch. He needs it to either not actually punch a hole, or sometimes punch a hole, or once in a while punch a hole, or maybe never punch a hole. But it still has to look and sound and act like it's punching holes. Now, I don't know what trick he does with it. There's a few tricks I can think of that might use hole punches. There's like one where you punch a hole in a card. The hole appears or disappears, or maybe you move the hole around, or it becomes on a different card. I'm not sure. I think there's one where you kind of use it like if you're signing the card, and then you punch it, and then the little picture kind of lines up with a different hole somewhere. Maybe that's a thing. Yeah, I don't know, unless it's some weird thing where he's like piercing his nose with it or something. But that's okay, because I can't give away his trick, because I don't know what trick it is. There's a cricket in here. Now, I've had this for, geez, a couple months now. I've been staring at it, trying to figure out what needs to happen for it to be the way he wants it. He's called Joan a couple times, checking in, probably magician speak for, "Hey, where's my stuff?" So I don't know if this is used in like close-up magic, big stage illusion, something in between. I have to assume it's something that could potentially be examined by an audience member. I don't know. Maybe you see it from 20 feet away. Maybe you see it right here. I gotta go with that. So one issue is that it, makes a hole. All right. And it sounds like it makes a hole. It looks like it makes a hole. That kind of a thing. So we have to do something up here. Yeah, I've been staring at this. I've been messing around with other pieces and kind of working through some stuff. And I think I got it about to the point where now I can make the final product. The ones I've been messing with are little Frankensteins. Probably seen hole punches laying on the workbench in previous videos. They've been around. They've been around a while. So I'm going to switch the big grinding disc on here out for a smaller used up one, because I want a little smaller. I want as small as diameter grinding in there as I can. Never throw anything away. See, I don't want to scratch up the sides too much around this hole. Like I said, this one is his, and I don't want to mess up his hole punch, even though it's just a regular hole punch. I'll give that back to him. So the ones I'm using are these swing line hole punches. So there's this cover. It kind of springs on here, and it catches the little cardboard pieces that you cut out. But we need to take it off so I can slide these pieces apart. It's held on by two little nubs. Boom, boom. Now we're cooking. When we put these back together, we're going to be using these little screw rivet things. And there's a male part and a female part. They come in different lengths, and they're threaded on the inside, so you can just put them together and attach stuff. I'm sure they have a name. I don't know it, but we need to know what size hole to drill in the pieces for when they go back together. Need a battery. I need a battery. 2016s. These are 2032s. R44s. These look like they're at the right size. Where were we? 4.76, 4.74. I think a 5mm hole will be perfect. And the 5 is gone. Where is it? Did I lose it? I must have. Put that back where it belongs. Now, this little piece right here fits great into that little hole like that when it punches a hole in a piece of paper, okay? But we need that to move and not punch a hole in a piece of paper if we don't want it to. So we're going to take this out and we're going to make something else that looks like that. Does that make sense? Now it's actually just pressed in there at the swing line factory, wherever they make these. So, without damaging it too much, come on, there it is. Now the illusion that I want to do here is that when this piece hits a piece of paper, instead of punching through it, kind of moves out of the way. But with the end like that, you're going to see it. You're going to see it if you're super close. I don't know if this is going to be used up close or far away. I just don't know. So I'm going to make a different piece, one that can just move and maybe you won't notice as much. Maybe. Let's find some scrap. This is promising. I think one more thing we have to do to prep these before we can kind of reassemble and make this is that this big hole where the hole punch goes through and this little hole where it used to be pressed in there, both need to be big holes. So I printed these little things. They had a few different versions. I had to kind of dial them in. They're going to go, they're going to pivot around the little thing here. And then they're going to move. Actually, this one will be there. And they're going to hold the little end of this, and it's going to allow it to move. I think. I still got to figure out how to put a little spring in there so it stays where it needs to be. We're making little ends. All right, so this little thingy that we made. It's got a hole in it. All right, it fits on the little thing we printed. So when the thing closes, it gets to a point and it's hopefully gonna move like that. Now, one of the ideas I had to make it sound right was these little dog training clickers. And I was hoping I could take the little thing out of there and somehow put it in the handle and it would sound like it's punching through something. What happens though is when you cut them thin enough to fit in the handle, they don't make the sound anymore because they lose the little tension on the dent. So they don't work. But I can use the little piece of tin or sheet metal, whatever it is, and make a little thing. So this little piece is going to get screwed into the other side of the handle so that when you squeeze the handles together, it rubs on the screw and it's going to make a little noise, hopefully. And that's what's going to give us our little. I may need some new scissors after this. Now, if you look inside the hole punch here, there's a little hole right there. That is a rivet that holds this piece on to this piece. It's just a little crimpy thingy. But we're going to use that hole to put a thing through that's going to be our adjustment screw later. So I'm test fitting the little piece in here. I got the little rivet thing that's going across. So now it pivots on that, hopefully. See, where is it? It moves. And you can see it moves. Now we need it to only go so far, and that's going to be the little set screw that goes in there. All right, so where this goes and how far it stops, hopefully will be adjustable. All right, but the very end, it needs to look flat and machined and pretty so that it moves with the thing. All right, so I need to figure out how far where the regular one sits and then make this one kind of match and file that end so that it's nice and flat and flush with this side so that it will always kind of look like it's right up against it. Does that make sense? All right. All right, I think I covered everything, but I'm not sure. Let's go through it. We got our two handles and they're going to go like this. They're held together by the threaded rivet thingy in the middle. Also through that is the printed cap arm. Then on the end of that is the little punch cap that we made, and that'll go through the bigger hole there and the bigger hole there. On the back side of the handles, we got a screw with a nut that'll come through on this one, and we got a screw with a nut that holds the little bent metal thingy on this side, and then on each side we got a cover and a cover, and this cover I went ahead and just glued the spring to it, and I think this cover is going to glue on the outside of the thing. It'll make it a little less serviceable, but I think that's the only option right now without adding a bunch of stuff. So that's where we're at. Cover, spring, arm, cap, hole, thing, hole, cover, cover. We're covered. Well, there they are. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping and watching. I had a lot of fun this week doing this. It's kind of a silly one, but you know what? That's what we do. I like the way it turned out. It looks normal. It looks stock for the most part. It functions or doesn't function as well as it's supposed to or not supposed to. I hope he likes it and enjoys it for many years to come. We may have some big news coming up in the next few weeks for Uncle Benny's Garage. To stay current on all the Uncle Benny's Garage news and world events, be sure to come back for the next episode or so. I do really appreciate you watching. Thanks again. See ya.